let's pivot now here, and
Sure.
let's on the Best Damn Nerd Show. Let's talk about What If Episode 3.
What was this called? What was?
Well, I think they even botched the title. It's what if the world lost its mightiest heroes?
It's a long title.
For me, it's just, why isn't it just what if the Avengers never assembled? Isn't that a better, sort of cleaner?
What if no assembly?
What if assembly required? No, what if these Avengers didn't assemble? But yes, what if Earth lost its mightiest heroes? Davis, I want to get your take on it, but low bar, best episode yet of the season. Outside of a couple of scenes with Peggy and Cap fighting side by side, I think that this is the most original-ish story that we got. I still think that it's not working. The tying it directly to scenes from MCU movies and changing them, that formula is not working for me at the very least. I don't know if it's working for you. By all means, make them look like the MCU characters, but just lifting shot for shot like Tony Stark in the donut and doing certain scenes over again. That is not where this animation or this series excels at all. And it honestly takes me out of it, and it makes it just feel less than. But what did you think of this episode?
I will agree, it's the best one yet, and they did semi-revert back to the first episode where we had Peggy Carter as Captain America, where they were just kind of taking scenes here and there, mostly in the first, I want to say 60% of the show, that took scenes from various Avengers movies and killed off Avengers in a different way. And
yeah, that was a cool thing. We're killing people in this
yeah, a lot of death, and
that was
different neat. and ways, the things that you want to know about these characters, like, okay, well, how do these characters actually die? Because we don't ever get to frickin' see that. And that's the cool part about What If is, how can we actually kill these characters? What does that look like? And what are the repercussions of it? That's fascinating to me. Maybe not in a long-term sense, but at least in like a what if, in an Elseworld story. Cool, let's do it. Let's explore that. And I got my boy Sam Jack, so we good to go. We're rolling. However, he is accompanied by ScarJo, so it kind of 50-50.
This was a better Black Widow than we got in the Black Widow movie. That's for sure.
It was probably the best Black Widow we've got.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, I'm probably gonna stick with that. I think this is probably the best Black Widow we've gotten.
I appreciate the fact that it was kind of a whodunit, and they were.
Did you know?
No, I didn't.
Good. I was shocked.
And so spoilers, everybody. So I appreciated like that. I legitimately didn't know who was doing this, and they were kind of telling their own story once they got out of their own way with that. But the thing that kept ruining it throughout is that, so yes, this is probably the best story that they attempted to tell in this abysmal What If series, but the dialogue in this episode is the worst. Outside of Heavy Korath from the last episode.
I was going to say, we just talked about that.
Because look, Phil Coulson talking about how dead Thor smells like lavender. Awful. Absolutely awful. Not funny, fucking weird and stupid. Phil Coulson talking about how he got Nick Fury the macchiato just the way he likes. Like, the dialogue in this episode was atrocious. And I really liked Phil Coulson outside of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was a stupid idea to bring him back from the dead, but I really liked the character of Phil Coulson. This is the first time where I hated that character in this. My password is Steve, #Steve, I heart Steve 0704. What the fuck, dude? Like,
he's a punchline.
Talking about how pretty Thor's hair is, and then having Clint Barton be like, "Oh, he's right. He really does have good hair." What the fuck are we doing? what? Like what? Is that supposed to be fucking funny? It's not. It's not funny at all. Like what kind of shite writing is that?
You just don't understand, James.
I understand completely. It's
You.
terrible. Who the fuck is it made for? We're killing off the Avengers here. I don't think it's for little kids.
They got to know what it's like if they lose their heroes. Loki will be king.
Talking. So the dialogue in this episode was awful and ruined the story that they were trying to tell. I liked the turn of who it was, a crazy Hank Pym coming after him. Some of it was a little flimsy, but I thought the portrayal was decent. I'm not the biggest fan of that we left Hank Pym out of the party in general in the MCU for the most part, although his role in Ant-Man 1 was great, and I love that he shits on Stark Tech and everything like that. But crazy Hank Pym was the killer. What did you think?
It was fantastic. I because I didn't see it. I thought it was somebody that we had actually already seen. I'm like, okay, is there a scroll involved
here? There was a moment I thought it was going to be Coulson.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a Skrull Coulson.
And trust me, he killed the episode, but not in the way.
I thought it could have been him. I thought it was like a double secret agent Black Widow because of Widow's movie, potentially. So I didn't think it was actually anybody off screen. I thought I needed to figure out somebody that we've already seen that is doing it, because that's usually how this goes. But no, it was Hank Pym. And just seeing how he can actually affect and kill people like this was pretty interesting to me. And it makes me think about the Thanos theory if Ant-Man were to went up his ass, So
it's the only place he could, his ass.
I feel like that's why they did this, was to kind of.
I did like the meme. I forget who posted it in the Discord showing that the what if, and it was him going into Thanos' ass. By the way, bestdamnnerdshow.com/Discord if you wish to get in on the conversation. And then we had the ending with the Avengers are dead, and Nick Fury is finding
no Cap yet.
Popsicle. That was weird. So I did not enjoy that we sidelined Cap the whole time. Like, why couldn't we have just had them? Like, don't even have Steve he gets killed while he's getting thawed out, like they go to thaw him out and he's already dead somehow. Like, I just thought that would have been better, as opposed to just leaving him on ice for the end and then for shitty Captain Marvel to show up and smash her fists together.
Because, I mean, if you have Captain Marvel, why do you need Captain America? Am I right?
Davis, I give you full marks for being the stalwart that you are. But
I mean, what
you can only
what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do that this character can't?
Be relevant, for one. Because Captain Marvel, again, exists for one reason and one reason only, and that is to be in a coma so that Rogue may fly and have super strength. That is the only importance that Captain Marvel will ever have to me. A superior character took her powers.
That's fine, But in this universe,
I don't know. Why couldn't we have just had a bleaker ending?
Yeah, no, I mean, and it was going that way
with Loki ruling Earth.
Yeah, and I think they need to kind of mix that in these. That why not? They're not going anywhere. Just leave it. Leave it Loki.
The last episode had a bleaker ending where he alluded to that it could be the end of the universe.
Alluded to, but it wasn't like, okay, how?
Alluded to it.
Yeah, but it's but okay. I don't want to speak on the Loki thing. Is that so?
Better Loki than the Loki we got in the Loki series.
More Loki than Loki. It was so.
Oh, the phone joke too. Ugh.
Oh, I'm kind of doing something here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I did cringe at that part. I will say, I did cringe at that one.
No good. You didn't cringe at Thor's hair smelling like lavender and Phil Coulson sniffing a cadaver?
The lavender I did. The other one you mentioned I didn't remember, and maybe I was doing something in the house.
The macchiato. It's when
that one
Asgard shows up.
No,
when Black Widow needs his password, hashtag Steve,
Yeah.
I heart Steve.
Yeah, that one. So I missed that one.
Okay.
But when Loki actually, they all win or whatever, and he's like, Fury's like, well, how long are you gonna stay? And in one day, Loki has taken over.
He's got the Mind Stone.
I'm sorry. No.
Yeah.
Just no. There's so many other heroes.
Now if Loki was giving that speech and Cap shows up and drops the line from the movie about disagreeing, you might have something there. Maybe you get Jimbo back on board.
The Jimbo,
but I'm not.
Yeah, and it was. They didn't show anything about that, and he's just ruling. I'm like, this is a lot of buy-in you're asking of me right now. you're just kind of throwing it out there. It's like, oh yeah, no, he ruled in 36 hours.
We didn't have Star-Lord T'Challa to literally just use the power of his words to talk him out of it.
Could have just said,
hey, thus is the greatness of Star-Lord T'Challa.
Why don't you go back to Jotunheim? And you can roll there because that's where you belong.
Talked him out of it and stopped Thanos.
Yeah, though that was a little bit of a quick, brutal ending to what could have been a much better episode, where it's just a better episode.
I appreciate again the story they were trying to tell, but the dialogue that coincided with the story, and they're still sort of awkward marriage to the MCU film scenes undermined this episode. I also just keep coming to the conclusion I think the episodes are too short. I think they need to be longer to sort of turn something on. There's too much time establishing and having to turn it on its head, and then the episode's over already.
For sure. There was a lot of this episode where much more could have been done, where they had the time, they had the resources. This isn't high-end animation. This is like very quick, like cartoon. I need to get this out in a week animation. And so spend the time. Do an hour. You can do the story. You can flesh this out. You can make it better, but they're not.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we have sufficiently dissected What If episode 3, season 1. Easy for me to say. Goodness, what if I didn't butcher that? That is going to do it.
What if James could speak?
Oh yeah. What if the show wasn't so mind-numbingly stupid that it didn't impair my speech?
What if Professor Davis was the host?
It still just makes me think of the time machine.
Now.
All right. That's enough out of you. That is going to do it for this edition of the Best Damn Nerd Show. Have a great week, everyone. Remember, if you're a nerd, always say it loud and say it proud.